Hello and welcome to my presentation. My name is Matfira. I'm a researcher at the Earth Observatory of Singapore, NTU. In this video, I will present my work about tephra detection and tracking by an X-band multiparameter radar. I will start my presentations by explaining the motivations of this study. Tephra fall is one of the volcanic hazards that could disrupt human life. As you can see in this image, the VEI4 eruptions of Kelut in 2014 caused devastating impact to the residential area located nearby the volcano. Because of the significance of this hazard, its timely detections and tracking in the atmosphere is very important. Nowadays, the approaches are divided into two major groups: the numerical and statistical model, and direct observations using some instruments such as LiDAR, infrared satellite, or ground-based weather radar. In these presentations, we will focus on the utilizations of weather radar. The benefit of radar is given by its ability to do remote monitoring while giving relatively high spatial and temporal resolutions in three-dimensional perspective. However, its applications constrained by several technical problems related to radar settings, satellite contaminations, unwanted clutter, and many more. Considering such difficulties, I will demonstrate the potency of weather radar to detect the tephra plume and track its movement in near real time. Such information is crucial for people who live nearby the hazard zone. The selected study case was the last eruptions happened in 2018. This is the Merapi eruptions of 1st of June, occurred at 8:20 or 1:20 UTC. It was observed by an XMP radar located about 7.5 kilometers at the southwest of the volcano. This is a small system that can be accessed remotely. The bottom row images show the area covered by the radar scan horizontally and vertically. Take a look at figure C, where you can notice that up to 13 to 15 degree elevation angles, radar scans are heavily disturbed by the presence of the Merapi topography. In this study, we have developed the automatic clutter cancelling that I will explain in the next slides. There are three aspects of our frameworks. First, radar data preprocessing. Second is the tephra retrieval from the radar data. And last, tephra tracking by the extraction model. First, I will explain about the preprocessing step. We applied Bayesian approach to classify the radar data into two classes, clutter and non-clutter. Using 5 input parameters, they are reflectivity intensity and its standard deviations, height or elevations, corporal correlations, and frequency clutter map. Reflective intensity factor, or ZH, is the measure of the efficiency of a target to reflect or absorb and radiate radar energy, while the corporal correlations represents the uniformity and the homogeneity of particles within a sampling volume. The clutter frequency map was developed by analyzing over 2,700 set data of sunny clear days to count the occurrence of ground clutters and anomalous propagations observed. This image is an example of the clutter frequency map from the elevation angle of 18 degrees. The next aspect is the tephra detection, where we modified the volcanic ash radar retrieval model developed by Marzano et al. And here we analyze the microphysical of tephra properties using the algorithms of radar. An easy understanding is that the reflectivity intensity factor is related to the power 6 of the particle diameters multiplied by the grain size distribution. Using the radar algorithms, we generated 6 sets of synthetic tephra data, and in this table we present the statistical properties. There are two regimes of tephra classes. They are fine ash and coarse ash to lapilli, and then we also have 3 different levels of tephra concentrations. At the end, we obtain 6 different synthetic diameter, concentrations, and reflectivity intensity. These data were again trained and then used to classify the observed radar reflectivity into 6 different classes. And now we can simply estimate the real ash concentrations or tephra concentrations by the power law functions of the reflectivity intensity. The last aspect was the tephra tracking, where we applied the advection scheme to forecast the next movement of tephra cloud. In the advection schemes, the spatial and temporal distributions of the reflectivity intensity depends on the advection factor and the decaying and growth rate. Of course, there would be huge uncertainty in the forecast. That is why we applied ensemble mean approach consists of 6 ensemble members. They are 3 different initial condition perturbations and 2 different advection phenomena. For tephra bloom, we considered the reported onset time as the initial conditions. As an example, IC plus 4, it means that the radar of the 4 minutes after the onset will be used to forecast the next 1 minute of the tephra movement. Last, we use the probability of detections to evaluate the predictability rate. In here, POD equals to 1 means that the forecast is perfect. We move to the results now. This is the results of tephra detections. Presented here are the reflectivity intensity factor, concentrations, and mean diameter of tephra. Certainly, all of the reflectivity were all clean from the unwanted clutter. As expected, the area at the core of the plume relatively have higher concentration. Plume seems to move from north to northwest, which is confirmed by another study that conducted the sampling of the tephra from the same event case presented in Setiadi et al. 2019. For tephra tracking, left panel presents the spatial and temporal of tephra 14 minutes after the onset, and the results of the ensemble member and ensemble mean as indicated by the information written on the top right side. The predictability rate is given on the right panel. It seems that the mean ensemble of IC plus 4 provides better predictability rates. The lowest mean ensemble results is because of some of the IC members failed to estimate proper decaying rate. And by this, I conclude the presentation. Ground-based radar has exciting potential for near real-time tephra detections and tracking, but there are some limitations related to the detectable tephra regimes and the forecast uncertainty. And before I close my presentations, I would like to thank some of the institutions that have been generously allow us to access and process the XMP radar data. And that's the end of my presentations. Thank you very much for your kind attention.